Alright, so the first trimester, where it all begins, little feotis to fetus. Well, obviously, there's the initial experience of, holy shit, I'm pregnant. And then a little bit of terror, a little bit of doom. And like I've said this before, if you know me, you know that I've wanted to be a mommy since I was a wee little one. They would ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I would say, a mommy, a homemaker. You know, that's like, why do I want to go to a job? I want to like raise my children. It just made sense to me. But still, finding this out, and let me tell you, when I found this out, the timing was not great. And I was kind of lost within myself, just not on solid ground with myself and my life path. Like, welcome to the rest of the world, like, who is, you know? But anyways, this information just really brought me down to earth. And the beginning days were filled with a lot of fear, a lot of, holy shit, what's happening? And, you know, like, you don't tell anyone for a long time just because, you know, you don't know what's gonna happen with the little being inside of you. So literally not telling any friends, not telling any family, not telling anybody. I actually waited until, like, I found out in, like, October, I think, and then I told people in December. So, like, 3 months of going through all that. The first trimester was also really bad for my morning sickness. I would get sick every morning, and if I didn't eat for too long, I would get sick. And it's just crazy because, all right, here's where it gets real interesting. When I Google pregnancy symptoms, you know, obviously, like, the whole first page, you know, first trimester, this, and this, and how to deal with morning sickness, eat your crackers, this and that, whatever, da-da-da. Like, there's a lot of surface level information regarding pregnancy and regarding nutrition and this and what to look out for and scientific things. And then there's not a lot on what goes on spiritually, what's going on emotionally. All it says is you have increased hormones, so you're more emotional. And it's like, yeah, I'm more emotional, but like I'm trying to like try not to die right now because, you know, the impending doom. Like, it's not just it's not just hormones. It's not just this and that. Pregnancy is like a process designed 9 months long to transform the woman, I believe, and the father, you know, and the baby, obviously. But it's not all about the baby, like, when it's in there. Like, yeah, it is about the baby in regards to you need to eat right, get your mind right, handle this shit, you know, like, make sure you're prepared for it. But it's really like a breaking down psychologically, being confronted with who you are, who you've been, the decisions that you've made, the decisions that you are going to make, who you are going to be as a person, and not just in regards to yourself, in regards to raising somebody, in regards to being an example, in regards to a new responsibility. And yes, obviously the financial aspects of it like intimidated me at first, but it's like, anything's expensive, anything's this or that. It's 2020, and I know that no matter what, there are so many alternative lifestyles out there, so many ways that people are doing it. And, you know, I'm a spiritual bitch. Like, I connect with my ancestors. And so for like a capitalist society to kind of tell me what I need to raise a baby, or like, you know what I mean? It's just I can kind of see what makes sense and what doesn't. It's another thing that happens in the spiritual purging. Now that I'm at the end of the second trimester, I can kind of laugh at it, but in the first trimester, I was really being broken down day by day, moment by moment. And what ultimately happened was, you know, I told everybody and all of those superficial fears went away, and it was like, all right, now I'm confronted with myself once again. And I started waking up, and just the thoughts that I would have, the things that I would do, they weren't fitting anymore. Something was happening where I was being called to be a new person, and day by day was like there was a catalyst making that happen. So it was like surrender, let go, figure it out, or you're going to be laid up in bed with depression this entire time. You're going to starve yourself, you know, this and that. And that really hurt me while I was going through this depressive episode towards the end of my first trimester, because you know, it affects the baby, the stress, the not eating, the not being able to eat, the emotional turmoil. So at that point, there's kind of an urgency, like I need to fight. I need to fight for my well-being. I need to fight for my health. I need to figure this shit out, because even now it's affecting this other life. And you know, you really grow to love the little thing. I didn't know if it would happen, but it definitely does happen as you kind of spend more time with it in your body and this and that. At first it's weird. It feels, you know, it's weird. Like, it's strange. And especially now that he moves and he's getting like actually like kind of beefy. It's a trip. But anyways, I guess mainly in this, I just wanted to talk about how pregnancy has been a purging. So it's the end of my first trimester, you know, and then the beginning of my second trimester, and kind of at the end of my first, I set goals for myself, and I made the decision to get my shit together, emotionally, spiritually, health-wise. I just made the decision. So every day I set habits for myself to do, and it was imperative that I did them every single day, because that's what I said that I was gonna fucking do. And I trusted the process, and I trusted God, and I trusted where I was being led. And I went there, and I stayed disciplined. And all of January I stayed on my habits, and all of February for the most part, and just like throughout my second trimester, just getting stronger and stronger and stronger, doing yoga every day, kind of getting my eating on track. And then just another thing with that, like, I haven't experienced many pregnancy symptoms, but what has come up for the purpose of what I believe healing. Some women don't experience morning sickness. I did. And ultimately it brought up kind of the exposure and like the needing to heal my relationship with food. And in order to heal that relationship, to just cure my morning sickness, I had to really sit down with myself and understand that I had a habit of food restriction that came from my childhood, that came as a way to cope with mental issues. Some people overeat, some people undereat. When I'm upset, like, I would not eat. You know, if I woke up in a bad mood or whatever, like, just gaining the energy to get up to make myself something to eat was just something that was too big. And I realized through getting down to it, you know, it's the way that my guilt and my shame and these things from childhood and these beliefs and the way that I was taught to cope with these feelings, that's what it was, and that's what needed to be healed. So realizing that, like, my morning sickness ultimately healed and is continuing to heal that aspect of myself, and just like the connection between food and health and mental health, and just how important it is to put good food in your body. Quite literally, throughout this pregnancy, I have not been able to eat processed food too much. Like, my body is literally like making me purify itself, which can't complain about. Like, I'm getting healthier for sure, but it's wild. Like, it's wild. You have to purge the shit that is not good for you. And pregnancy is an opportunity to do that. The whole entire universe, every single day, is helping you, prepare you to do these things. And it's your choice to surrender and let go of who you used to be, and let go of that person before who guided your day, who, you know. And so anyways, going through the second trimester, going through all my habits, at the end of the second trimester, like, I was feeling strong, feeling good. I got this, like, pregnancy, whoo, like, mommy coming through. And then it happened. And then I got kind of sick. Nothing serious, just like respiratory. You can still kind of hear it. But it forced me to slow down, stop, breathe. And during that week of that kind of battling, just like with my breath, and like a lot of emotions were coming up, and it was just kind of a purge physically for all of these things to kind of manifest and come out. And I I couldn't paint anymore. Like all of the second trimester, pretty much leading up to this point, I was painting, I was grinding, I was working, and in my mind I was thinking, you know, this is how I'm gonna make money, this is how I'm gonna feel secure, this is how I'm gonna find my purpose, da 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 da. And I was devoted to painting, and then that was kind of taken away from me. God kind of like took me back from that, and it's been happening with everything that I attach myself to. Oh, this is security in this material world. Like, oh, this is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to do it. Immediately, as soon as I get that thought pattern, God kind of takes it away. So then I'm forced kind of in this place where it's like, all right, I literally have nothing. I have nothing. And what am I going to do? I have no idea what's going to do, what I'm going to do. I have no future plans, really, for this aspect or whatever. And it's been a beautiful process, like terrifying. But when you're in those corners and you're feeling all that pain and this and that, sometimes all you can do is breathe and ask for help and lean on this higher power. And I'm ultimately realizing that there is nothing in this material world that is gonna make me happy, that is gonna fulfill me, that is gonna make my self-worth what I want it to be. And all these places that I've been looking, and other people and relationships and past authority figures and food and substance and my talents and the way that I judge other people, all of that is being completely dissolved to the point where I've been humbled so greatly. And it's been the best gift to only have yourself, your heart, your inner knowing, moment to moment, and your God. And I say that word, and I know it's a heavy word, but if you know me, if you've been watching my videos, you know how big that word is to me, how I interchange it with creator, with source, with love, with breath. You know, God is everything, baby, but God is not this limited whatever. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful. But see, I didn't read that on what to expect when you're expecting. Nobody told me what was going to be happening to me psychologically and spiritually. And the fact that I was pretty much going to have to go through this all by myself. You know, your friends want to be there, your family wants to be there, this, and that. But when you're pregnant, you really kind of, your eyes open to what's important, priorities, and just getting down to life and what really matters. You know, for me, it's really helped me realize the weight that I put on my relationships, on my love, on my purity of thought, on the way that I just feel in general and what feels good to me. That matters more to me than this person's approval, than feeling safe in this, than holding on to this identity that was kind of hiding me and that I was hiding in to protect myself. Seeing it now, I am so afraid. I am still healing. I have so much fear in my body from my past, from my childhood, and we're healing it. We are going through it day by day. I am being given the opportunity to purge that shit. And day by day, my heart opens to more and more love. And I know this is a thing about the baby and the pregnancy, but you have to understand that this is the best thing that I can do for my son. Going through these processes, crying, this and that, yes, eating, yes, exercise, yes, this and that. But as a mommy, what he's gonna need is a healthy mommy physically, but a healthy mommy mentally, a mommy who can love him unconditionally, a mommy who's not so susceptible to her triggers. Because I understand children, even your family members, trigger you in ways that you have never been triggered before. And it's, how do I want to show up to that moment? How do I want my son to see me interact with the world, respond to the world? Do I want to be angry? Do I want to be spiteful? Do I want to be judgmental towards other people? Or do I want to teach him how to walk with light and love and happiness and give him all of the tools and the self-confidence inside of himself that he will need? So I'm going to have to go through all of this shit and purge myself and to give him the life that he deserves. And that's been my mindset, my experience. through this pregnancy. That's probably the biggest thing. I kind of wrote notes and stuff, but it's like, ultimately that's what it is. It's a purge, it's a spiritual opportunity. And I'm just excited to see what the third trimester brings. I'm going to be 28 weeks on Saturday. And, you know, physically I'm doing all right. I haven't gained too much weight. I started at like 107 and then now I'm like 126, 129. It changes, but yeah, feeling really good. And also just shout out to my baby Justin, my mans, because you know who's been up with me every single morning at 4 o'clock, getting up to make my nauseous ass food. You know who rubs my back every night. You know who plays with my baby and pokes him and loves him. And I'm just so grateful for him because of the man that he's becoming. This really has been a spiritual process for both of us. You know, like you read about sister symptoms and what to expect when you're expecting. But, you know, when you're kind of synced on that mental, emotional level, you know your partner. They're changing, you're changing. So just to see him kind of grow and change his priorities and just kind of dream about him and our family. And I know that we're gonna be good. And it makes my heart smile. It makes me fucking beam to think about my family and my tribe and what we're building here and just the love. Like the love. That's what was lit about it. I know the rest of life will figure itself out. I'm not gonna sit here and stress about how this or how that. Life has shown me too often that those thoughts are just a waste of energy, a waste of worry. I'm telling you, like, I am being led to blind faith. I am being led to absolutely having no control over my life and being so stoked about it because God writes my story. I'm learning how to take back the pen and not allow my fears and my insecurities to dictate my story and to rule my interactions and the way that I, like, love people. And I'm just feeling good. It's very hard. It's very difficult and there's a lot to face, but at the end of the day, the prize, what's on the table, the treasure of your own heart, of the love from the universe, of returning to your body, of touching yourself in places and realizing, wow, I haven't been here in a while. Welcome home. This feels good. This feels good to just be in your body. You know, we're so, okay, I'm so sorry. Side note, I do my own nails at home, but it takes me a long time. So I only do one hand a day. So we're just going to accept that. But it just feels good. And the treasure of the heart is worth purifying for. It's worth following your thoughts to understand, why are you here? Why do I feel like I need to protect myself right now? Why is my fight or flight activated? What am I afraid of, and how do I need to adjust my perception so that I feel more safe, so that I can teach myself, you know, I am not someone to be afraid of. Like, my heart has learned to be afraid of me through the way that I've treated it, through the things that I've done, and it's time to heal that, and it's beautiful that we are, and I'm just stoked on this opportunity to continue to do that. And I'm humble in my moving forward. I'm so humble. Cause honey, if I don't humble myself, just know that shit is coming from somewhere else and it's gonna be worse. So I'm just not even gonna go there. Humble in spirit from my heart to yours. Thank you for watching. I hope that maybe for other mommies or people who want to be mommies, you know, maybe there was some resonance, even if you're not a mom, even if you're going through this process regularly, because life puts us through the purge all the fucking time. Are things falling apart in your life? Do you have no idea who you are? Are you going through manic depressive episodes? If so, you could be opening up to a new reality. On some real shit, that's how it goes down. But I love you. Thank you for watching. And I am happy to be back and to share my journey with you guys, with my little baby boy. Name to come soon. It starts with an E.